So tonight we are making banana bread. We have our recipe right here. Miss Angela and Miss Reagan and Miss Sarah have gathered all of our ingredients. We have a stick of butter, we have some very ripe bananas, white sugar, baking soda, flour, and an egg. So we are going to follow the directions on this recipe to make banana bread. So our first step is to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Done! Our second step says, in a mixing bowl, mash the ripe bananas with a fork until completely smooth. How many bananas do we need? It says 2 to 3 very ripe bananas, peeled. The next part of step 2 says stir the melted butter into the mashed bananas. So we need 1/3 a cup of melted butter. We have 1 stick of butter. On the stick, it has measurements. This whole thing is 1/2 a cup. We have a measurement right here that shows us 1/3 cup. So we're going to cut right there. Okay, so we started with this butter, the solid form of matter, and when we added heat, it turned into the liquid form of matter. A physical change is something that changes the state of matter without changing the substance. So it is still butter, but it is in a different state of matter. It is now, instead of hard, it is pourable or movable, and it takes the shape of the container that it's in. This solid will stay the same no matter what container I put it in. If I put it in here, it's not going to fill the container, but this liquid would. We're adding the butter to the mashed bananas while we are whisking. What Miss Reagan has is called a whisk. Our next step says mix in the baking soda and salt. We need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. A teaspoon is this. It is indicated by 1 TSP, which stands for teaspoon. So we're going to get 1 teaspoon of baking soda and just a pinch of salt. A pinch is not an actual measurement, but it is like this. So Miss Reagan is just going to take a pinch of the salt to put in. Miss Reagan is now measuring 1 teaspoon, 1 TSP of baking soda. Okay, the next part of step 3 says stir in the sugar, beaten egg, and vanilla extract. So we need 1 large egg beaten. We're going to show you what beaten means. Miss Angela is going to do that.
Okay, so we crack the egg, put it in the bowl, no show, and then we mix it up. When it's all mixed together, it all looks the same. That is a beaten egg.
All right, it also says stir in the sugar and vanilla extract. So we need 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Which one is 3/4 of a cup? Or we could use 3 1/4 cups, because 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is 3/4. We need 1 teaspoon. We used teaspoon earlier. What is the abbreviation? TSP, teaspoon. You're going to use 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Miss Reagan's going to do that for us. When we measure, we want to measure all the way to the top. Perfect. Sarah has measured out 3/4 of a cup of sugar. She will add that now. The last part of this step says mix in the flour. So we need 1 1/2 cups of flour. How many half cups would that be? 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1.5 cups. That's 3 half cups. Or Miss Sarah is using 1 full cup, and she will use 1/2 cup after. While Miss Sarah was mixing, we realized we forgot to add the egg. It's okay to make a mistake, and now we are just adding it after. Okay, step number 4 says pour the batter. The batter is what we have mixed up. Pour the batter into your prepared loaf pan. A loaf pan looks like this. It is what bread is baked in. This is a loaf of bread. It is cooked in a loaf pan. To prepare it, Miss Reagan is going to spray it with some cooking spray to keep it from sticking.
You could also use butter.
Miss Sarah is pouring the batter into our loaf pan. She's using what's called a spatula so we can get all of the batter out of the bowl. End of number 4 says bake for 50 minutes to 1 hour at 350 degrees. We have our oven preheated to 350 degrees, and we are going to bake it for 50 minutes. After you bake something, it's really important to make sure you clean everything up. Okay. We are checking our banana bread, and it looks just about done. So we're going to take it out of the oven using an oven mitt to stay safe. We don't want to burn our hands. We want to make sure we turn off the oven when we're done. We can check to see if something baked is done by putting a toothpick in. If it comes out clean, without any batter on it, that means it is done. We started with many individual ingredients and we mixed them all together. Then we added heat. This created a chemical change. Earlier we talked about a physical change, and in that physical change we took solid butter and added heat and it melted. But this is different because we mixed together different ingredients and then we added heat. The heat helps the ingredients to react with each other. And that is how we made banana bread out of individual ingredients that we would not want to eat by themselves. Now we have a wonderful banana bread that we do want to eat all together. Woo! We missed you guys so much. Thanks for watching.
Love you.
Love you. We have some white sugar. Don't think brown sugar is going to be used.
Goodbye.
Should I start over?
No. No, keep going.
We have baking soda.
Baking powder! Alright. Sorry. Banana. Ugh. It's really gross. But don't worry, they're nutritious. Delicious.